What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90, and it's finally time for the Full 90 live show. It is a Friday, it is the weekend best bets, and we have 13 different leagues for you today. So we're just going to make sure that everything is running smoothly here, and I think it is. So there we go, that is absolutely fantastic. Real quick, if you're watching this on Friday or Saturday or Sunday before midday, that is the cutoff point, Sunday midday UK time, you could win $100. All you have to do is go to the Patreon using the link in the description and join up. Once you join, you'll be entered into a random draw to potentially win $100, which I will be doing, and like I said, on midday on Sunday, and I'll announce it by the end of the day over on the Patreon. So please do click the Patreon down below to check out all of the exclusive members tips and accumulators, my league earn predictions for every game. You get a shout out in every single other video on the Full 90, every video that's not live, and you of course get your entry into the giveaway, as well as direct messaging access to me, the group chats, and everything like that. But now it is time, as you can see, for the weekend of football. So if you are watching this live, I will be doing Friday night stuff and everything like that towards the end of the live show. So that way, you watching now, you probably, if you're watching the video after the fact, first of all, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. You probably want to see stuff for Saturday and Sunday as well. So the Friday stuff we'll leave to the end for the viewers that are in the live show. And if you want to see the live show, we do it every Friday between 4 and 6 p.m, around about that time on Friday. So subscribe, turn on the bell so you don't miss it. We've got Godwin here from Nigeria, and we've got Dwayne from South Africa as well. So welcome in, everybody. Good evening, Mikel. Good evening. It's good to see you again. I love seeing all the familiar faces in here as well. You said avoid Italia Serie A. I did. You know, you got to avoid the Mafia League sometimes. I will say this. I was having a discussion with one of the most active people over on my Patreon page. I was having a discussion with him privately in the private messages, because obviously if you join the Patreon, you could message my phone directly, just like that. And we were talking about essentially just leaving teams alone if you don't personally like them. If you've had a gripe with certain teams over the past, like if I think about certain teams for me, Lazio springs to mind. So take Lazio, for example. If you find that they're the team that keeps killing your selections or anything like that, then you need to be comfortable not only not including them, but also if you still predict their games and you then get it right but didn't back it, just learn to accept that, because even if they won your pick, you haven't lost anything by not going for them. So if there's certain teams that you just don't like, then by all means, completely disregard them. Even if I say, in this case, Lazio to win, if you don't like it, leave Lazio alone. Funnily enough, Lazio are playing tonight, so we can discuss that as well. But thank you so much. Please do drop a like on the stream as well. I appreciate all of you. Tudraman, you said avoid Serie A. Yeah, we just discussed that. You're making us happy. Thank you, Godwin. I love you. Thank you. Prince Romeo, hello. So let's get straight in. I've also got, because they did so well last week, it was either 2 or 3 accumulator winners, but I offered up 5 accas for the stream. Whether it was 2 or 3, we still had profit from the live show accas. So I'm back again today. I've got a Premier League treble, a La Liga treble, Serie A treble, Bundesliga treble, and it's not a treble. It's a high odds fourfold for League Earn and a mega fourfold for the Portuguese league. So yeah, good evening. I'm Sai from Nigeria. Very psychic, extremely wonderful. Thank you. And also, actually, it's funny you should say psychic. So the Europa League games obviously ended yesterday, and I started the prediction show for the Europa League when we hit 50,000 subscribers at week 7. So I've done 2 game weeks, and there are 2 teams from there that I've correctly predicted both scores. So I correctly predicted that Salzburg would beat Basel 3-1 and lose to Aston Villa 3-2, and Salzburg have now been eliminated. So I've officially got every single correct score for every Salzburg game that I will be predicting this season on the channel. And Red Star Belgrade, we've had 2 games so far. We predicted that they'd win 1-0 against Malmo and draw 1-1 with Celta Vigo, but they've qualified, so we can still carry on with Red Star Belgrade in the Europa League. But we are starting with the Premier League. Brighton and Everton, obviously, if you want to see, you're the only prediction channel I watch. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Hello from South Africa. Hello, hello. I have to admit, I really do enjoy these streams. So seeing you in the chat right now makes me really happy. So make sure you drop a like and just say hi in the chat and I can get back to you. But the Premier League, Brighton, Everton, if you want to see every single game sort of broken down more in depth, go to my Premier League video, of course. But Brighton, Everton, I do fancy Brighton to win, but I'm going to leave it alone. Leeds, Arsenal, however, Leeds have a very good record at Ellen Road. They have a very good run of form that they're putting together. But also, Arsenal are better than Leeds. They beat Leeds 5-0 earlier on this season, and I think the odds for Arsenal to win at 1.57 are really quite good. Now, I just want to say, if you are new to the format, I'm not currently building an accumulator. I will get all of my single picks in one big acca for you to have a look at, and then for the big leagues, I will make a separate accumulator that I would actually encourage to back all in one as an acca. I wouldn't encourage you to put 8 picks in a row. Obviously, with La Liga, to be fair, last week we made 9 picks for La Liga and we got 8 out of 9. Real Betis double chance didn't come in. It was 2-1. But if Real Betis got a draw there, that would have been 60-1 if you did put them all together. So there's a lot of value to be had in the live shows. And honestly, there's a higher success rate from the live shows as well than the individual prediction videos. I think because I look at more leagues, so there's more winning tips. But after this, Wolves Bournemouth, I haven't seen anyone else predict a Wolves win like I have. I've seen most people predict Bournemouth wins, but the best tip for me for Wolves Bournemouth is both teams to score. I'll add other both teams to score as well. I like Liverpool Newcastle, even though Newcastle will be without Bruno Guimaraes. Then Man United Fulham over 2.5 goals. The other results, Chelsea to win. I like Aston Villa to win because the odds look extremely good. When I did my Premier League prediction video yesterday, the odds were 1.95, and seeing that go above 2 makes it an appealing pick for me. So I'm going for Aston Villa to win. I'm also going for Man City to beat Tottenham Hotspur. I think off the back of an Arsenal win, they'll be 7 points behind. Off the back of an Aston Villa win, they'll be 3 points behind Villa. They need a win. Tottenham aren't very good, in my opinion. So I'm going for that. Sunderland, I do like Sunderland to win at 1.8, but I'm going to err on the side of caution and go for under 3.5 goals and Sunderland double chance at odds of 1.47. So these are my Premier League singles. Sunderland not to lose and they're to be under 4 goals. Arsenal to win. Both teams to score at Molineux. Both teams to score at Anfield. Plenty of goals, Man United, Fulham. Honestly, I'm almost tempted to take this one out because the fact is Man United have beaten Man City and Arsenal because they've been able to play a low block and counter. Fulham will probably play a low block against Man United, and that could lead to a lower scoring game. We'll remove that for now. I think Chelsea will beat West Ham. I think Aston Villa to beat Brentford, the odds are too high. Similarly, I think Man City to beat Tottenham, the odds are too high. So, given that, my treble for the Premier League is going to be this. Both teams to score, Wolves and Bournemouth. Chelsea to win as well. And then Manchester City to win on Super Sunday up against Tottenham. Please excuse me. Oh my goodness. Let me have a sip of drink. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Obviously, these streams, I don't shut up the whole time. So it can get quite tough for the old throat, especially after a week of work where I use my voice all the time. So generally speaking, on Fridays, I am struggling a little bit with my throat. But Mikhail says, if you guys have that sus feeling, then let that game be. Not trusting you instinct losing hurts more than the regret you didn't go for that game. Exactly. It really, really does. If you have a gut feeling, then you should go with that gut feeling, right? So that's the way I see it. Let me just check this real quick. Hang on 1 minute. Where are we here? Just got to make sure this goes in okay. Bam, 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 ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, bam, ba-dum, ba. Oh yeah, I have a perfect example. So, bang. Here we go. So, right, perfect example. I'll remove my camera for a second. So, yesterday, sixfold, £25 to win 150. I cashed out because I thought, you know what, I'll put it on some other stuff. And they all won. As you can see, Genk 2-1, Stuttgart 3-2, Bologna 3-0, Lyon double chance 4-2, Porto 3-1, and Celtic 4-2. That was it. Cashed out. So I unfortunately missed out on a 6-1 win because I cashed out and tried to put another sort of selection in there. So honestly, go with your gut. Sometimes that can trump all sorts of data and everything like that. Sometimes the gut feeling is the way to go. Can you please show us over 1.5 goals games for today, Saturday, and Sunday? I can have a little look at that for you. So today, if we go here. There's a lot of low-scoring games, but I do like Lazio Genoa, definitely. I think that could end maybe 1-1. There's not a lot of... I mean, that would be over 1.5, in my opinion, is still that, but the odds are so low, and maybe that as well. Hello, bro, from Azerbaijan. Karabag, hello! I like that for tonight. Lazio Genoa really boosting up the odds. I think that could be 1-1. I think Bristol City Derby could be 1-1. These should be much more straightforward, but the odds are really, really terrible. So there you go. We can perhaps do other weekends and other fixtures and everything later on. But I've got to get back because we still have loads more leagues to get through. So Orkan, for tonight's games, I'll be doing a Friday night segment at the end of the stream because everyone watching this video will probably see it after those games have been played. So I'm going to do the weekend first of all. So if you want to stick around for the next 20 minutes or so, we'll talk about tonight as well in the chat with all of you lovely people. So please do drop a like if you haven't already. It takes 2 seconds because it takes me hours to prepare these streams with all the research and everything. So if you could, please drop me a like. That would be amazing. We do have a Friday night game, Espanyol against Alaves, and I do like Espanyol to win. Slightly shorter than when I picked up the odds. Greetings from Wembley. I really enjoy your videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. After this, Real Oviedo, Girona. I've got both teams to score at 1.9. However, I do also really like Girona to win. Girona, have they ever even lost to Real Oviedo? They haven't lost to Real Oviedo since they were in the 2nd division 7 years ago. So you've got both teams to score there, but also Girona at 2.75 looks absolutely massive. Thank you, Orkan. I appreciate that. So I'll just leave that one there. I have got both of those picks written down here, actually. Osasuna, Villarreal. I like Villarreal to win. My favourite pick for La Liga, just because of the odds, Atletico Madrid to win. Levante are not particularly good, and I just don't see it. I don't see them beating Atletico de Madrid. So Atletico Madrid to win at 1.61. Elche Barcelona. Barcelona win is very low odds. So I've combined Barcelona and over 2.5 goals. On top of that, if we remove this one, there's a pick here that I like really a lot. And that is half with most goals, second half. We had that for Benfica Real Madrid. That came in. We had that for PSV Bayern Munich. That came in. It's a really good way to get almost evens for a game that could potentially start a bit slow. You look at Barcelona Real Oviedo, that was 0-0 at half-time. And then it ended 3-0. So I've got like a niggling cough in my throat, and the only way to sort of get rid of it is to cough, which is very unsightly, but it has to be done. Real Madrid, Vallecano, there's no value on anything but Real Madrid -1 handicap plus because Real Madrid win is so low. I think they need to bounce back here. Obviously, Mbappe at the double against Benfica, but losing knocked them into 9th place, where they play Benfica in the playoffs round. It's incredible. So, as it stood, and if the draw goes as it did today, Benfica would have beaten Real Madrid 3-2. They would have been knocked out of the Champions League in 25th, and Real Madrid would now play Marseille in the playoffs, which is a tough game. But Benfica, in scoring, well, the 3rd goal that knocked Real Madrid out of the top 8, then scored the 4th goal that knocked Marseille out of the top 24, put them in that spot, and now Benfica have Real Madrid in the playoffs because Real Madrid are right at the top of the seeded teams, and Benfica are at the bottom, and they were drawn against each other in a 50-50 scenario. So Benfica have the funniest thing they could knock Real Madrid out of the top 8 of the league phase and then knock Real Madrid out again of the whole competition in the playoffs. Absolutely. That would be the most absolute cinema moment we've seen in the Champions League in a long time. I've got Real Betis and Valencia, both teams to score. I've got Celta Vigo double chance and under 3.5 goals. Just really bolsters up the Celta Vigo double chance there. And then I've got both teams to score for Mallorca and Sevilla. So very high odds for Spain, as you can see. For all the tips together, last week it was 60-1. This week it's nearly 400. But BTTS, these two, Real Madrid -1, second half of the most goals, Barcelona. Atletico Madrid, great odds. Obviously, these two boost up massively. Big away wins for Villarreal and Girona. Also, both teams to score here, because if Oviedo don't score, that would be embarrassing. Celta Vigo not to lose and under 3.5 goals, and Espanyol to win. So what do I make the treble? We go to Atletico Madrid. It's a powerhouse treble. I'll be honest. It is the best 3 teams in La Liga. And it's going to be the picks that I have for them. Real Madrid -1 handicap. This is the Spanish treble. Barcelona and over 2.5 goals. Atletico Madrid to win. Real Madrid -1. Bilbao, if I look at the fixtures, good lord, that's a lot of scrolling. Bilbao against Sociedad, I've left it alone. You could see both teams to score, but as you can see, the bookies can't tell either. I think that could end 1-1. I've left that game completely alone. So, yeah, not going to be dabbling with that. After this, it's Italy. We're kicking off with Lazio Genoa. I like both teams to score at 2.25. I've tipped both teams to score above evens twice this year, and it's come in both times. The last time in Spain, it was at 2.5. The odds were insane. I know why they were that way, but I actually quite like it. I think it could be a 1-1. Pisa, Sassuolo. I also like both teams to score. I do think Sassuolo can get something there, but maybe Pisa can nick a draw. Napoli to win at home against Fiorentina. Obviously, apart from that loss to Chelsea in the Champions League, which now eliminates them from the Champions League and all the cups, they're all finished and everything like that. They've already won a cup this year. They have to focus on the Serie A. And in the league, they haven't lost at home all season. And Fiorentina, they are making a sort of comeback, getting out of the relegation zone, as I've been saying for months on my channel that they will do. But I think Napoli might be a step too far. And I think Napoli have to win this. They really do. They can't get knocked out of the Champions League like that at home and then go and play Fiorentina and lose again. They can't. So I'm going for a Napoli win. I do like Cagliari to win, but I'm going to go with Cagliari double chance and under 3.5 goals. It's low odds. It's now 1.41. That's dropped even more, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Torino to beat Lecce. Como and Atalanta, never betting on Atalanta as well, just avoid Serie A. By all means, do that. Como favourites here at home against Atalanta. I'm going for both teams to score at 1.7. I also this is just a pure gut feeling. I saw it there. Ademola Lookman to score or assist, score at 3.5. I got a funny feeling about Ademola Lookman this game week. So keep an eye out for that. And then a couple of extra winners away from home. Inter Milan, odds have dropped even more. Juventus to beat Parma and Roma to beat Udinese at 1.9. I think those odds are really good. So for that reason, I'm keeping Roma in for the treble. I'm keeping Napoli in to bolster up the odds. I thought about Torino and Juventus, but I'm going to keep Inter Milan in to boost that up there. There is a game on Monday night for Bologna, AC Milan, but this is the weekend best bet show. So, yeah. I'm going with that. Hello, fan from South Africa. How do you work out both teams' score? I can never get it right. Does that mean, like, how do I predict it? Is that what you're saying? Or what? A lot of the times it can be just kind of goal-scoring form. It can be, it can be a lot of things. Sometimes it is literally just a gut feeling. But, like, you look at last night, Aston Villa, Salzburg, gut feeling. Betis, Feyenoord, gut feeling. Stuttgart Young Boys, it wasn't even a gut feeling. That just felt like it was a given to me. So, and then both teams to score you can't foresee, like Genk conceding to Malmo. They won 2-1, but they won the XG about 4-0. Do you know what I mean? Celtic, Utrecht, that was a both teams to score banker for me. But then you look at Porto and Rangers score from next to nothing, and it's 3-1 to Porto. So, generally, both teams to score is a combination of recognising patterns and teams' immediate form. I don't think you need to necessarily look at head-to-heads. I think recent form is more important. So that's the way I see it. Hello from Zambezi Junction Lodge. Nice. How are you? I'm good. Giant, how are you? Welcome back. So now we move on to the Bundesliga, where we do have a game tonight. Köln at Wolfsburg. I think Köln will win, but I'm going for both teams to score at 1.5. I like Leverkusen to win away against Eintracht Frankfurt. That was 2.2 when I picked it up. It's now dropped to 2.1, but still good enough. Leipzig to win. Oh my goodness. Leipzig ruined it all on Monday night. All the other picks I made had come in, and Leipzig concede a stoppage time penalty to St. Pauli and draw 1-1. So that is very, very frustrating. I mean, last night in the Europa League, we were one goal away from a 60-1 fourfold. It was Stuttgart, Real Betis, Aston Villa and Midtjylland to win and both teams to score. Aston Villa won 3-2. Stuttgart won, I think, 4-2. Betis won 2-1. And then Midtjylland won 2-0. So if Zagreb scored, that would have been lovely. But it is what it is. I think Hoffenheim to beat Union Berlin is very good. As you can see, Hoffenheim in third place there. Werder Bremen, Borussia Mönchengladbach, both teams to score. This is one that just looks absolutely just guaranteed. My favourite pick in the Bundesliga, you would have seen it in the video, is Bayern Munich -1 handicap at 1.72. I like Stuttgart to win at home at 1.66, and Dortmund are playing Heidenheim, so I think it's going to be a couple of goals at least, -1. Do you just select without predicting, or do you think predicting is a waste of time? No, I don't just select. I mean, it kind of, I will admit, the process has gotten a lot quicker. When I first started the channel in 2018, there was a lot more deep diving and research involved, in the sense that I had to get my own knowledge up to scratch, because obviously I went from never making a Premier League predictions video to making them every week. So I had to really buck up my knowledge. But these days I'm so informed in all of these leagues that I don't have to spend as long on it. So I can kind of sort of go with my gut, because I've accumulated so much knowledge that, generally speaking, if you follow it well enough, you can make some pretty good picks. But it's very important to do your own research as well and look deeper into things, injuries, anything that might change the result. Genuinely, even weather, time of day, like all sorts of things. There's all sorts of things that can make a difference. So yeah, but my Bundesliga treble, I'm ready to be hurt again. RB Leipzig to win at home against Mainz. I think they could win with both teams scoring, but it's quite often that, you know, RB Leipzig, my Leipzig could just go and win 1-0. I think Werder Bremen, Borussia Mönchengladbach to both score at 1.57 is an absolute banker, but I'm going to take it out. I think Stuttgart will win, but I like the look of this, honestly. Again, Bundesliga battering. RB Leipzig, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, -1 handicaps. Their two best picks, top 5 leads for the weekend. We'll get back to that later, don't you worry. Real Madrid, Marseille win, Bayern win, Barca win, Chelsea win. So that's Chelsea beat West Ham, Barca to beat Elche, Bayern to beat Hamburg, and Marseille to beat Paris FC. I like it. I like it. See, even that, those four, just knowing who those four teams are playing this weekend, it's just being involved in the space. Do you know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, Bayern is literally on my screen, so I could have just looked at that. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good Bundesliga treble. After this, Ligue 1, we are back. And we did have mention of Marseille in there, and I will be including them. But I've got Lens, Marseille. I do like Lorient to beat Nantes, but I'm leaving it alone. Monaco, Rennes. I'm going for both teams to score. The odds are quite low, but Monaco have been a bit tough. They've also been a bit rubbish. They drew 0-0 with Juventus. They're not in the greatest of form, to be honest. They drew with Juventus. They drew with Le Havre, which is awful. They played out the script to Real Madrid perfectly. They lost to Lorient, which was a bit of a shock, and they lost to Lyon, which is, you know, fair enough in my opinion, but both teams did score. But back-to-back 0-0 draws. I think they will get a goal here at home, finally. What do you think of the slip? It's a bit much. The game's the odd. Frank Kusen, both teams to score. Leipzig women, Hoffenheim. I can't. Oh, Leipzig win. I thought you were talking about Leipzig women. Yeah. Osasuna, Villarreal, both teams score. Yeah, not too bad. AZ Alkmaar, NSC, both teams to score. Napoli W. I've left Göztepe from Turkey alone. And AZ Alkmaar, both teams to score. I'm not so sure. I think they'll win. Both teams to score. I don't know. It could happen. Absolutely. But yeah, I just realised I've deleted that, so I need to get this back. Lens, Marseille, Lyon to win. Matt's biggest win is 80k from £10, if I'm not mistaken. You are not mistaken. That is correct. It was, 12-fold, 11 outright winners, and 1 double chance. The double chance did come in as a win, so if I just had the balls to put that double chance to a win, that would have been probably about 120,000, so from a tenner. But that same day, I was also 1 goal away from another tenner winning 780,000. At 78,000 to 1. But Berry and Crew drew 1-1. I think it was the 23rd of October, maybe. But yeah, if they didn't draw 1-1, I needed a Berry win. Berry hit the post 5 times. The keeper was man of the match. There were 23 shots to 5, and it ended 1-1. Like I said, if Berry won that would have been a very life-changing. What would it have been? £860,000 from £20. That would probably be the greatest bet pretty much ever anyone's ever made. Maybe not ever, but very, very close. But anyway, we move on. It's fine. I'll never forget it, but I have to move on. Otherwise, if you rue a loss like that, I think it helped that I did win the 10 to 80,000 on the same day, because if both lost by a goal, I probably would lose sleep at night. I've got under 2.5 goals for Angus Metz. Nice Brest, that's hilarious. Toulouse to win and Paris Saint-Germain to win, but I've also got PSG to win and both teams to score if you're feeling a little bit brave. So those are the French picks. Take a little look, and now I've got a big one. High odds, 4 winners, 4-fold for Ligue 1. So I've got, we're leaving Lens, the odds are too low. Marseille, Paris FC, going to be tough, but I think Marseille are good. Lyon to win, I like the odds. Toulouse to win, I like the odds, and Auxerre are terrible. And PSG to win against Strasbourg. 10.25. Let me zoom out a little bit. Not that, let's zoom out there. There we go. Let me just make sure that everything is okay with the stream. Yes. There we go. Okay, there we go. Marseille's a trap these weeks? Potentially. We've got Marseille, Lyon, Toulouse, PSG. I just think the odds are worth a go. So there we go. But if you, like I said, if you want to leave Marseille alone, bang, little French treble for you there. So I might just do League and Winners treble and do it without Marseille. So that way there's less risk of Marseille ruining it. So bang, there you go. You've got a little cheeky treble there as well. So I'll zoom back in for you. There we go. Lovely stuff. Nice win. I'm not so sure. Nice are really kind of, they're a little bit mid, to be honest. But now we move on to the Netherlands, where there aren't many picks, to be honest. I do like Twente to win tonight. I like AZ Alkmaar to win tomorrow. I like Ajax to win. I also like PSV to win. But as well as that, PSV Feyenoord, maybe BTTS and over 2.5 goals is the way to go. So these are my single picks for the Eredivisie. Nice so bad, I stopped trusting them. Yeah, I mean, I liked Ludogorets Razgrad to beat Nice in the Europa League, and they got the 1-0 win. The problem with AZ Alkmaar, NEC, BTTS 1x or over 1.5 goals or whatever, AZ Alkmaar, they dominated last weekend. They only ended up winning 1-0. You know, you've got to be really careful with AZ Alkmaar. I had Alkmaar draw no bet last weekend at 1.6 because I had a funny feeling that would happen. But yeah, they got the win in the end, but it was only the 1-0. Speaking of only the 1-0, we're going to Portugal now, which is all the way down here. There's Trabzonspor. Didn't realise that had already kicked off so early, but oh, there's the game on there. I can't show that. That'll get me copyrighted. But it's only a split second. It's fine. Can't show the rest of the stats, but I did have Trabzonspor to win, but I guess just disregard that because the game's already started. So yeah, we'll ignore that one. I was about to show the game on my stream then accidentally. Guimarães Morench. I like Guimarães to win, but I've actually gone with under 2.5 goals at 1.61, and then finally after that, and this is a big one. This is the Portuguese win to nil fourfold. You could make it a treble if you want, but Sporting, Benfica, Braga, Porto. So you could take out this one for tonight's games. This is an actual acca if you're feeling like you've got a high risk tolerance. Sporting, Benfica, Braga, and Porto to win. We had an 18-1 Portuguese fivefold 2 weeks ago on the live show. So yeah, I think Sporting just won't concede. They're too good. Benfica are too much better than Tondela. Braga is higher odds, but they have low-scoring games, and AVS are not good. And I think Porto should get the job done as well. So I like that. The odds when I picked this up was 12.5. It's now 11.97. That's off the back of Benfica getting a more likely win to nil than when I did the research. But we're going to remove that. After this, we move to Austria for the Austria Cup. Just a couple of winners, I believe, in the Austria Cup here. It's going to be Lask losing. That's quite funny. It's going to be Sturm Graz and Salzburg. Sunday, 4:30, double kickoff, 4.2. I think that's pretty good if you ask me. So if you're interested in the Austria Cup and you want a double to go with Tottenham, Man City, I don't mind the away day winners treble. These two and Man City all to win at 4:30 on Sunday away from home. Not a bad shout. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good pick. After this, we move to Belgium. We've got Ghent tonight against La Louvière, and I think Ghent are better. I'm going to go for Ghent double chance, 1.5. Cercle Brugge and Antwerp, I'm going for both teams to score. Sint-Truidense to win as well. And then Genk to beat Dender. I can't believe Dender held Anderlecht to a 0-0 draw last Sunday. I'm leaving Anderlecht alone for a long time. Anderlecht should have won. I mean, Torgan Hazard, the chance he missed, the XG of the chance was 0.72, and a penalty XG is 0.78. So that gives you an idea as to how much of a big chance it was, and Anderlecht drew 0-0. Can someone send me the Patreon link? Yes, www.patreon.com/thefull90. There it is in the chat. And by the way, if you join the Patreon by midday on Sunday, UK time, you'll be entered into a draw to potentially win $100. Final game is USG and Club Brugge, both teams to score. So there we go. And if you want to see all my accas and everything for tomorrow, today, the day after, you can join the Patreon. It's all there as well. All my Ligue 1 predictions, it's all there. So click the link in the chat. But those are the Belgian picks. 16.5. That's not too bad. We now move on to Greece. And then what I've done, I'm doing Greece, Serbia, Switzerland, and Turkey. And then we can do a little bit of a chat about Friday night and just talk about football, because that is what we love, and that is why we are here. So if we look at my picks here, I've got Aris Salonika to win away from home, Levadiakos to win as well, Panathinaikos to win, PAOK Salonika win to 0, 1.44 by the way, very, very low odds. And then I've also got, it's not both teams to score, I don't know why I've clicked that. That's the Cypriot League, Greece Super League. If we go to AK Athens Olympiakos, either under 2.5 goals at 1.66, or an alternative at the same odds, Olympiakos double chance and under 3.5 goals. That gives you odds of 1.7. So those are the Greek picks. What does your Patreon include? I'm planning to buy. So first of all, next season, I will probably have to raise the price of the Patreon. It's currently only $12.99 a month. And in that, you get entrance to all Patreon giveaways. This is the third $100 giveaway we've done already this season. So you get automatic entries into that when you sign up for the Patreon. You can message me directly and privately if you want, which you can't do anywhere else. You can't do on YouTube. You get access to the group chats. You get a post from me. I mean, this year it's been every single day with tips and accumulators because there's been so much football. But whenever there's enough games, you'll get posts of exclusive tips and accumulators. You get a shout out in every single video. And you also get my Ligue 1 predictions and like score predictions and tips for every game, which I don't post anywhere else. So that's what I'm currently doing over on the Patreon. And it's only $12.99 a month. And I've seen on the Patreon, I mean, the amount some of you are staking, $12.99, I know is not a lot to some of you. So if you are interested, feel free to check it out. But if not, by all means, you do not have to. There's plenty of free content on the YouTube channel as well. All these videos, these streams, and everything like that. But we now move to Serbia, which in terms of hit rate has been probably one of my best, surprisingly, like my best leagues across Europe, the Serbian league. So I'm glad to see that the football is starting up there again, the Serbia Super League. So we've got Radniki 1923 to win, Partizan Belgrade to win, Novi Pazar to win, Vojvodina draw no bet at 1.61. I just think it's a safer way to back them to win, and Crvena Zvezda to win and over 2.5 goals. Like I said, Crvena Zvezda on the channel, we've predicted their scores twice this season. We got it right both times, both under 2.5 goals actually. 1-0 win against Malmo and a 1-1 draw with Celta Vigo. But these are the Serbian picks. Red Star Belgrade over 2.5 goals and a win. And then home comforts for these three, and Vojvodina to not lose away from home. That's odds of 10 if you want to combine them all together. We have done a complete clean sweep in Serbia 3 times since we started this live series, so definitely a possibility. We've got Switzerland and Turkey, and then we can talk about today and everything like that. So if we go down, sorry for all the quick scrolling, but it's got to be done. So Lausanne Sports to win, Lugano to win, and Young Boys to win, and then Servet FC Sion, both teams to score. My both teams to score hit rate on Switzerland is so high. I must have got some wrong in the past. I just can't really remember them. But that's odds of 10 as well, and that's a 4-fold. So, yeah. Do you actually know anything about these teams or statistics that go into your bets? So, what do you mean? A lot of it is statistics, patterns, and where there's discrepancies between the numbers. Because anyone could look at someone with 1.1 odds to win and say, yeah, they're going to win. It's where I think there's a little bit more value. So, could I name the starting 11 for Lausanne Sports? No, I couldn't. But I think very few people could. So it's generally about keeping an eye on the sort of more macro landscape of football, recognizing patterns, and then once you recognize the patterns, not following it blindly, but then looking deeper into it. Do injuries play their part? Squad selection, manager, all that sort of stuff. So you kind of use statistics and numbers to narrow things down, and then you can look at it more deeply, because you can't know the starting 11 for the thousands of football teams around the world, but you can find value based on discrepancies in the odds and things like that. So I don't have an expert knowledge on Lausanne Sports, but I still think they should win against Winterthur because they're not good. I hope that makes sense. I hope that was a good way to describe it. When you're talking about like Premier League and stuff like that, then yes, much more so. But sort of South African Premier League, just back Mamelodi Sundowns to win 2-0 and you're probably going to be all right. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way we've been doing it. Finally, the Turkish Super League, which is right here. I mean, if you want to still back Trabzonspor, I did this last week. We were live and Trabzonspor kicked off and they weren't winning. The odds were close to 2, and I said that was a pick for me, so I'd back it, and then you can come back to the live and see that Trabzonspor did win, and they did go on to win after I ended the live. So I will, full transparency, say that this was a pick pre-kickoff, but if you don't want to go in play, I totally understand that. Alinespor to win because Eyüpspor, I don't think they're particularly good. Başakşehir have been very good to me. I think they're a good side. Besiktas to win against Konyaspor, but I also considered and don't mind both teams to score. So if you're doing a both teams to score acca, perhaps lean that way. But Besiktas to win. Someone actually said Göztepe in the chat. I have got them to win here at home because Faith Karagmaruk are not good either. I'm leaving this one alone. Gaziantep, I think that could possibly be a draw, like a 1-1. Fenerbahce to win and Galatasaray to win 2-0. So yeah, I apologise. Yeah, I like Göztepe to win. I've actually got it written down here. I had odds of 1.45. It's now 1.46. So exactly the same. They are decent at home, but I think Fatih are. I said Faith for some reason. Fatih are not that great, to be honest. So yeah, you did actually say like a lot of home comforts this week in Turkey. I completely agree. You've got these 4 and Galatasaray as well, and I do think Fenerbahce on Monday night. But for the weekend, I do definitely think home comforts in Turkey is absolutely where it's at. So now we can have a cheeky little look. For those of you that are watching live, we can have a little look for tonight. Next 3 hours, there's just a few fixtures, so I can run through each of them really quickly. So this one, Bristol City derby, I could see this being a 1-1 draw or a 1-0 Bristol City win. So both teams to score, the bookies can't tell you. Bristol City to win, I think, is decent value. I quite like double chance, and under 3.5, 1.66. That, for me, is the best way to combine what I think could happen, which is a low-scoring Bristol City win or a draw. And when I say draw, I mean 1-1 or 0-0. And that bumps up to 1.66. So I really like that. Ultimately, Espanyol City Alaves, I think Espanyol are going to win. They're at home. They're having a better season. They're better than Alaves. They're going through a rough patch of form right now. If you have a look here, no wins in 4. I think this is the time for them to get a win. Alaves have won 1 game away from home all season, and Espanyol need to bounce back. Lazio Genoa, this is kind of like I spoke about earlier, about leaving a team alone, the likes of Lazio, for example, because you look at this and you think, yeah, Lazio should win. And I just think they might draw. This is a real gut feeling of mine. Genoa have been scoring in every game, so for that reason, I think Lazio are obviously good enough to score at home. I think both teams to score is mismatched. I think the odds should be about 1.92. So still maybe not 50%, but this implies way less than that. So both teams to score looks like the pick there. So this treble here for tonight, I really, really like. Bristol City not to lose and under 3.5 goals. I don't see that being a goal fest. Espanyol should win, and we should see both teams to score there. I also like Lens to win. I like Colne to win, but I also like both teams to score much more. NEC 20, I think 20 could win, but I'm going to leave it alone, and these have already kicked off. So these are some picks for today. I'll just zoom out a little bit for you there. But if you want to go crazy tonight, you know, you could go Bristol City, Espanyol win to 0. I'm going to leave Lazio alone. Colne and both teams to score. That's a treble that gets you odds of 20. So, you know, I mean, there's a bit of a boost on it, so 10, that gets you odds of above 20, right? Hey, bro, met you live today. Keep up the good job, man. Will do. So if you're feeling brave and you want to do a very small stake on something, this would be my recommendation. But yeah, as I said, I like double chance Bristol and under 3.5. Lazio Genoa, I think you could go under 3.5, very low odds, and Lazio double chance as well. 1.41, but a decent way to bolster up the odds. So this would be my sort of conservative pick. And that way, if the games all end 0-0, then you're sort of laughing, aren't you, really? Similarly, Espanyol double chance and under 3.5. I mean, that, you could get 3 0-0s and just get a nice triple your money pick. You know, but I do think sometimes fortune does favour the brave. So you could be, I mean, even if you're really brave, you could do something like that as a stalemate double if you're that way inclined. Again, if you're really brave, you could do something like that. Chuck the draw in there. and you've got a treble of 10 to 1. So that's the way I see it. If any of you have any more questions, please drop them in the chat now. I know someone said something along the lines of top 2 picks for each 5 leagues, so I'll do that now. Villa straight win or Brentford win or draw. I really like the odds for Villa to win now. They were 1.95 when I did my research for the Premier League yesterday. They've gone up to 2.1. That's enough for me to go for it. At 1.95, I mean, what did I go for? I went for both teams to score when it was at 1.95. But now that it's moved to 2.1, I've kind of swayed to Villa straight win. Can you do league own predictions? So I've gone through some tips, but my exact scores and tips for every game are available right now on the Patreon. It's the last post that I've done. So by all means, you can check that out. I think you can purchase the post itself for like $3, but you might as well buy the membership because you get a lot more for your money. So yeah, check that out using the link in the description. But we'll do top 5 picks for the top 2 picks, sorry, for the top 5 leagues. So for the Premier League, I'm going for a Saturday double. Chelsea win, Wolves, Bournemouth, both teams to score. Italy, my favourite picks is got to be Inter Milan. It should be Roma. It really should. I might go Napoli. Might go Juve. I'm going to go Napoli. High odds. I like it. For La Liga, it's Atletico Madrid to win and Barcelona to win. As we're doubling up, we don't need to go too crazy with the odds. I like Bayern Munich -1 against Hamburg at 1.72. I like Stuttgart to win at home. Alternatively, you could go Dortmund -1 for the similar odds to VfB Stuttgart to win. You could go Hoffenheim to win as well. I think the odds there are really good, but I'm going to leave it for those two. And then France, I think it might be PSG and Toulouse, you know. Lyon should really win, but Lille are capable of doing crazy things. I think Marseille should win, but Paris FC, we've seen them knock out PSG already. So I'll go with Toulouse and PSG. So, and it's nicely at 100 to 1. So you've got just 2 games per league. So it's not like you have to get every game right in the league. And we've got a mega 100 to 1 account. I'm gonna note this down just for fun. It's very unlikely this comes in. Obviously, by the way, it's a 1%. You know, it's like 100 to 1. It's unlikely it's going to come in. But for the sake of it, I'm gonna write it down, and then we can report back and see how we did on either the next live show or, you know, in my future videos or something like that. So we'll do Chelsea, Napoli 1.9 right now, Inter 1.28, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. I think the best picks, I'll narrow it down even more, don't you worry. Then we've got Bayern Munich -1 at 1.72. There'll be a few surprises like always. Exactly. Nothing is guaranteed. That much I've got to really hit home. Toulouse 1.75 and PSG 1.61. Odds of 103.75. But let's take out that. Take out that. That's my favourite. We got England, Italy, Spain, Germany. Those are probably my 4 favourite picks across the leagues. I think Atletico Madrid to win away at Levante. I think the odds are really good at 1.61, but you've got to back Barcelona to win as a more likely option. I don't see how Wolves-Bournemouth isn't both teams to score. I've mentioned that quite heavily. I mentioned it in my Premier League video. I've mentioned it here a bunch. Wolves are at home. They're sort of rejuvenated a little bit. They've only lost the 1 game this year, and that was against Man City. I think they can trouble this Bournemouth side. Bournemouth have been averaging, they've conceded over 3 goals away from home every game this season on average, and they score a lot of goals themselves too. So I think both teams to score is a great pick. Cremonese, yes, they pulled up an incredible upset beating AC Milan on the opening day, but that was back in August. It's going to be February by the time these guys play. Inter Milan are going to win. Same to be said for Barcelona, who are going for the La Liga title, and Bayern Munich need to bounce back from their first loss of the season. I think they're going to batter Hamburg. So to be honest, that's going to be my 4 fave picks, and this I would consider backing as a 4-fold. And to be honest, I think that's pretty good. 1.33, Bayern Munich 1.72. The fact that gets you nearly 5 times your money, I think is really, really good. So Yeah, we have to do result based score fivefold. Yeah, I love those. They're a lot of fun. Like I said, we got 3 out of 4 Europa League yesterday. We had Aston Villa, Stuttgart, Real Betis, all happened. Then Midtjylland, and that was unfortunately a win to 0. So let's have a little look. Chelsea, West Ham, Villa, Brentford's tempting. Man United, why not? Chuck it in. Leave that alone. Italy, I very rarely, if ever, predict in Italy. Maybe Como, but I'll leave it alone. Spain, I think Villarreal. Possibly Atletico Madrid. Possibly Barcelona as well. Let's see if there's a team that I like better. I think... Oh, it's always so good. Do Bayern Munich keep a clean sheet? Maybe not. Do Dortmund... I think Dortmund keep a clean sheet. Yeah. But Bayern Munich, maybe not. Hoffenheim, probably not. Leipzig, leaving them alone. Leverkusen, possibly. I'm just adding a few now, then we can take some out. Lyon... Paris Saint-Germain. So there we go. 51,000 to 1. And it's just 9 games. £1. You get a massive boost as well. That makes it 63,000. £1 for Chelsea, Man United, Villarreal, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Hoffenheim, Bayer Leverkusen, Lyon, PSG. Imagine. So 3-1, 3-2, 3-2, 3-1, 4-1, 3-1, 2-1, 3-1, 4-2. Why not? Why not? For £1. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I might even just do it. To be honest. So let's think about this really. Right, Chelsea, West Ham, I'm leaving. Man United, Fulham, sure. Villarreal, I think the odds are too good to ignore. Atletico Madrid, I think Levante could scare them, yeah. Elche are a decent side at home, so yeah. Hoffenheim, just games are always nuts. Bayer Leverkusen, yeah. Yeah, I might do it. I'm just going to put this on here, so because right now I don't want to. Right, there we go. Bang. Bang. I don't want to show any details or anything, but there we go. There we go. Why not? There we go. Look at that. Bet placed. So we'll see. It's just a bit of fun. So there we go. But I think that was a perfect time to end it. Imagine I'm coming back to you all on Monday and I'm saying, hey, just won 60 grand. It's just for £1. So either way, that is going to do it for this stream. If you did enjoy it, please do drop a like, subscribe so you don't miss any more football content, videos and stuff like that. And if you are watching this video, you can go back through and watch anything that you might have missed. But that is going to do it from me, and I will see you in the next video.